welcome to episode 1637 of Hard Factor. It is Thursday, January 30th, 2025. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80% accuracy guaranteed on this podcast. Patreon.com/Hard Factor if you need more Hard Factor. Today, Mark's leading us off. He's got a big one for us. One that he's promised you.
I had to do it.
You did say you were going to do it.
So. I had to do it.
You said you were going to dig into it.
Yeah. By the way, it's crazy. It's a crazy story. Insane.
Pat, have you seen any of the videos of the South African mine?
No, I haven't. Are they nuts?
It's insane. This is an insane story.
Strap in. Yeah, it's going to be very crazy up top. Then Wes is on deck with a funny one.
Funny and also insane. I think it's going to give Marks a run for its money in the insanity of one single man at least.
Ooh,
yeah, it's a doozy out of Omaha, Nebraska.
Interesting. We can vote on which one's crazier after at the middle.
Which one's worse? I'm getting a lot of requests for that. It's like,
yeah, you are. You fucking liar.
Pat's got some more comedy for us, I think, in the hole.
Yeah, I got a horny Air Force general who was sexting his ass off. And I want to first say, this is a no judgment zone. I just love a sexting scandal because you get to see someone else's game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
always fun.
That's true. Does he have good game?
Yeah. It's the type of game that you'd have if you were a career military man. And
if you were a general, right.
Slamming 5 ladies on Capitol Hill.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, you're making a lot of orders, demands. That's the Air Force is. I mean, they're on a streak because they had that dude in the Pentagon too who had the sex toys. And he got reprimanded.
Dude, Air Force is probably the hottest branch, I'd say.
Breaking out
a lot of hotties in the Air Force.
Wasn't the pup guy Air Force guy too?
Was he Pup Savage?
Pup Savage.
I thought he might have been Army, but I can't.
No, he's on the ground, dog.
I'm pretty sure he's terrestrial.
Yeah.
And then we'll keep it with some political stuff. We'll wrap it up today with a quick recap of the RFK hearing, and it's at the end because it's literally not. It's literally you don't need to do it. But anyways, we'll talk about that when we get to it.
Sounds good. All right. Well, as promised yesterday, it's time to explore these miners. And I'm not quoting P. Diddy. I'm talking about the people that go into caves to bring out precious metals and such.
You mean it's time to go spelunking? Again, not quoting P. Diddy.
Yeah. It's time to check out that hole again, not quoting P. Diddy. So this whole ordeal happened in South Africa, and it's a pretty serious ordeal. It's a very serious ordeal. They're going to make a movie out of this. Probably multiple movies. So I'm not sure if we just missed this story completely or covered it and just forgot because we were
probably talking about Diddy thinking about how many guys he can fit inside that little dark hole.
Yeah, I have to imagine we covered this last year and we just, we've done so many stories and we've done drugs and alcohol and just the memory. But anyways, let's do it now. So this story this begins before August of 2024, even because we're going to get the main point of the story starts at August 2024, but it happens before then. This is where South African police show up and they discover a large amount of illegal miners at Buffelstein gold mine, which is right here in South Africa. So there's a lot of these miners.
Buffelsfontein gold mine.
Buffelsfontein gold mine. So they show up and they're, I guess I'd like to think that like police or authorities show up and like there's like one or two miners coming out with a big smile on their face with a handful of gold that aren't supposed to be there, and then they see the police and they do like the Grandpa Simpson like put the hat on the thing and turn around like whoops, you know what I mean, like and they go back
throw the gold in the air.
Yeah. Oh, there he goes. Oh, there's the police back in
the going to work. Actually, we're just going to go right back into the mine, clocking in.
So the police catch wind. They're like, wait a minute, no one's supposed to be at Buffelsfontein mine. The paperwork doesn't add up. What are all these people doing there? And I guess this is a common thing in South Africa where people just illegally mine. They don't get the paperwork done. They're not working for a company. They just want the gangs encourage them to either go in the mine or get murdered by them. And so they go in the mine and they get gold for the gangs.
I think that the problem here is that it's not their claim, right? Because mining is one of those things where once you stake a claim,
right,
you can mine it pretty much, even if you're just a random citizen, at least in America. But if you're going to go into the mine, they've definitely staked that claim, right? And
claim-based system.
You're then impeding on their claim or stealing their claim, and that's going to be a problem for the mine. Yeah,
you got to defend your claim too. I know that to be true. If you let your claim,
oh yeah,
if someone tries to come on your claim and you're not there fighting them back, then that's their claim.
Like half the guys in the Old West just died of defending their claim, or trying to take over somebody else's claim.
Errol Musk or someone that looks like him or one of his buddies has a huge sign with the name of their company outside the Buffelstein mine, and if you're not working for them, you can't get the gold.
Right. No, they've claimed it and they have it on all the paperwork and everything. Everybody knows that's what's Elon's dad's name? Errol's gold.
Yeah.
Errol's gold. Yeah, that's Errol's gold now.
Exactly. So the police are like, okay, we got a problem here. Errol, they call Errol, and Errol's like, I don't think they should be there. And so they're like, all right, we got to get him out of here. So they use some sort of combination of like megaphones to yell down, and probably the guys who like threw the gold in the air and went back down told everyone, hey, the police are here, and they're like, oh shit. So obviously the police wanted the miners to come out and at a minimum answer some questions like, what are you doing here at this Buffelstein gold mine? We don't have any documentation for you here. And then the miners,
why are you jumping claim?
Yeah. Where's your claim?
And in South Africa, you might just get shot by the police, probably.
It's going to get that dark. It's going to get darker than that. And the miners didn't even want to mess with that. They knew they were caught, so they just didn't want to come out of the mine. Now what helped the miners?
Yeah, but a mine only has one door.
Yeah.
They're
at the door.
Yeah, it's all.
Let's dig our way out of this.
Yes. It's true. There's only one exit and entrance. Now, what helped the miners is that the Buffelstein gold mine is one of the deepest mines in South Africa. So authorities weren't going to go in there to get murked by a bunch of nothing to lose illegal migrants. They
had an awesome quarry that they could live in.
It's like a base.
Yeah.
It's a literal man cave. But what hurt the miners is that the mine is one of the deepest mines in South Africa. So after a day or so, like authorities realized these guys aren't coming out, and they're probably getting pretty hungry down there and thirsty. It's not like a bodega's in the mine. So they start sending supplies down and try to negotiate with the miners to come out, but they're not coming out. So, and also a new problem arises once they start sending supplies down, because immediately leaders of the illegal mining group, like gang leaders, start hoarding all the supplies for themselves. It's not exactly a socialist group at this point. Like the guy with the biggest dick that's the most aggressive is killing guys for supplies right out of the gate.
There's a gun or two down there.
Yeah, whoever had the guns. Yeah.
And he's eating and drinking in front of other miners, staring at them naked, type intimidation tactics, probably dropping some food exactly between him and another lesser miner.
You gonna mine that?
Yeah, try it. Yeah, just that's what's going on. So not good right out of the gate. That's phase one. Phase two is when in August of last year, the authorities started talking about how are we going to get these cocksuckers out of this damn mine.
So they'd already been there for 2 months. This is phase two.
They've been there for a little bit.
Just because they didn't want to face the consequences?
Yeah, pretty much. They didn't want to get arrested, pretty much. So so now the police are like, what are we going to do? We got to stop sending these guys supplies. So they're like, wait a minute. In the past, it has worked where we just cut off supplies in other mines, because this is common practice, like illegal mining.
Starve them out.
Just force them out, starve them out. And that should work. So they did that, and like about 2,000 of the miners eventually came out. They're like, okay, you're not going to give us food, and we'll go to jail, whatever. We want out of this damn mine. There's guys shaking their dicks and beating us up over food. Like, we're not even getting any of the food you're sending in here. So we'll take the arrest. But over 300 stayed in the mine.
So how many are down there?
What's that?
How many were down there?
Over 2,000. Now there's now there's just over 300 left.
Did the 2,000 that came up? Did they bring gold with them? I mean, that's gonna make things a little bit smoother. Maybe. If you're like, hey, I know I was down there joshing around, jumping your claim, but look at this gold I got you.
Did they bribe their
Right,
way
yeah,
out? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they smuggle some nugs? I don't know.
And this is
Some tried.
I mean,
Sure.
these guys were all indie miners. Like they were putting this indiscretion on these individual mine guys versus like
Well, it's
some
not- it's
other
just a bunch of
mine
dudes who-
pirate that
Well,
told
yeah,
them to go down there.
it's mine pirates. Yeah, that's what it
Yes.
is.
Yeah, but there's got to be a mine
pirates.
pirate boss. These guys are
It
lowly
is.
miners. The mine owner knows that. He abuses
Gangs.
labor every day.
The gangs hired illegal immigrants called Zumas. We'll get to that, but they're illegal immigrants that are poor that get caught up in these gangs, and the gangs offer them, do you want to die or go in the mine? So all these people are already down on their luck, and they don't really have a choice. So
You can fit about 20 ounces of gold in your ass. I just looked at an ounce of gold. If it's shaped right, you can fit about 20 of them if you really want to.
probably more.
Thanks, Wes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they come off
much is that
pretty
worth?
small chunks, right?
An ounce is worth right now about $2,700. So that's well worth it.
You
know,
can definitely make a gold butt plug. I mean, we've covered some of those before. They're used. They're made. Yeah.
Your ass will heal. And so like, okay, so we're at this point. There's like 300 plus guys left. A lot of time's going by now, like way too long to go without food and water, but no one's coming out of the mine. Now this is starting to become like the scene in Braveheart when William Wallace is getting tortured, but he won't say mercy. And the crowd that originally wanted him dead, the locals start to feel real bad for the miners. The locals and even mining unions at this point are like, maybe they're too weak to come out of the cave, or maybe they're trapped and physically unable, the people that are still left in there. It has been over 2 months without food and water. Can you please try and go help them? And the police even started like dropping in ropes. Like locals were trying to drop in ropes for these people, and the cops were like, get out of here, get out of here. The police ignored the cries for help and just had a team posted up outside the mine that was munching on snacks, waiting for the illegal miners to come out. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
Good
we're
strategy,
approaching,
honestly. Yeah.
now we're approaching like December. This is like 3 or 4 months down the road, no food or water. Not
How
good.
are they surviving? Wow. That's
Yeah. Finally, the courts get involved months later and demand a rescue operation. They're like, look, if anyone's alive down there, we got to clear this mine out. You got to go in there, cops. Like, they're not going to kill you at this
How'd
point.
you like to be on that rescue team?
Yeah. So the rescue team goes down there, and guess what? During the rescue operation, the police find a bunch of dead bodies. They pull out 78 dead miners, all said, dragging these malnourished bodies outside of the cave. But if you remember earlier, I said
One guy made a joke, said, "Is this a body mine? Come on."
You don't mind, do you, sir? To the dead body. But if you remember, I said there's over 300 left. So if you do the math, that's about, and I'll tell you how many. There's 246 miners still in the cave, alive.
246, healthy.
So what happened to those 246? How did they survive?
They ate the bodies of this 70.
They ate the shit out of each other, Pat. The survivors ate the weak.
That's what they do.
They ate the weak and the dead. Probably killed some people, then ate them. Full on cannibalism to avoid
Not
arrest.
probably. You know, that's for sure.
One survivor told authorities, they cut parts of legs, arms, and ribs off of me for sustenance. They decided it was their only remaining option for survival. And that guy did not wish to be named because if he gets caught snitching in jail, they're probably going to finish the job.
Well, it's
Especially
gonna be
since
easy
they're
to
gonna
find
Figure it out, yeah.
for
Yeah, they're
human
gonna
flesh. Yeah,
He's going to be called Filet in jail because
he's the guy missing body part.
fillets.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
missing all of his steak off of his arms.
Wasn't me.
We know it was you, Tasty Tony.
Good Lord.
No,
You're
it's the other
serious.
anonymous guy missing his arms, legs, and rib flesh.
Serious cannibalism. Whoa.
Very serious cannibalism. I think they were probably killing people on purpose and eating them. Like, oh, you want to leave? Okay.
According to Tasty Tony, for sure. Yes, 100%.
Yeah. So on top of eating each other, they were eating cockroaches to survive. Local rescuers said the cave smelled absolutely horrible. Lots of people are criticizing the police for not sending down supplies for several months and letting it get to this point, but the police are still planning on arresting the skinny cannibals that survived. Like, here's a guy that's on a stretcher. So
Oh.
yeah, They ended up putting down cages that were supposed to fit 13 people, and I don't know if this is one of them because it looks a little small. But they said that, they were supposed to fit 7 adults, but they were able to fit 13 of these minors in at a time because they were so skinny. We probably couldn't fit the 4 of us in one of these things.
No.
They were getting 13 minors in there. Yeah, they got like Christian Bale, the Machinist, skinny.
So they would have rather
Skinny
cannibalized and go to
cannibals.
jail for a couple months. That's fucking insane.
Yeah. One guy named McQuai said they were able to fit the 13 men in the cages, and also said that the locals were right. He was down there. He goes, at some point, the tide did turn, and the 300 of us did one out. We realized, but we weren't able to move at this point because we were so weak, and no one was coming to rescue us.
What idiots.
Well, it's post apartheid South Africa.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to get arrested for mind claim jumping.
Well, also the alternative is the gangs will kill you because these people are called Zamas. That's what they're called. They're undocumented migrants hired by local gangs to fetch gold.
Well, the ANC's been in charge. It's not like the Boers are still in charge. I mean, they're just choosing a mine over jail. Period.
Yeah.
Yep. There's also a report that in December, one of the biggest gang leaders who was hoarding the supplies, the fattest guy in the mine, was snuck out by corrupt police because he's useful. I don't know how the information got out or how accurate it is, but some are saying they just helped this guy escape, like the CNN lady that accidentally freed the butcher, or whatever that guy was. Remember the Middle Eastern guy? Like, oh, thank you, the butcher of remember that? The CNN.
Oh
anchor?
yeah. When she
Yeah.
of Syria.
Got him out. Yeah.
Yeah. So
The Syrian torture.
the police got the butcher out of the cave.
Oh, that's amazing.
Damn.
Anyways, it's insane.
He
78
was
people.
remarkably well fed.
Yeah.
It was almost like he got stronger.
He's the fattest guy in the cave by
I'm going
far.
to check on the rest of the guys.
Yeah. 78 dead. Probably more. Also, there's probably tons of bodies they haven't found that just got like fully eaten and thrown further down the cave that they'll discover later.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
6 months of shit and dead bodies. I don't.
Oh,
think
do
you
you even want the gold after that? You might just abandon that mine. You know.
That place is haunted.
Damn. All right. I don't know if I can top that, but we'll try. But first, a little business. This show is sponsored by DeleteMe. Have you guys yourselves or known someone that's been a victim of identity theft? We know the answer. Yeah. Harassed, stalked, doxxed. Yeah. That's let's talk about why privacy matters to you and our listeners. And it's because data brokers make a profit off of your data. Your data is commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, harassment, unwanted spam calls. But now you can protect your privacy with DeleteMe. Sign up and provide DeleteMe with exactly what information you want deleted. I signed up. They gave us a free trial, of course. And the spam calls that I've gotten have dramatically decreased. It is night and day, honestly. So you tell them what you want, what information you want deleted. Their experts take it from there. DeleteMe sends you regular personalized privacy reports showing what info they found, where they found it, and what they removed. And it's not just a one-time service. It's always working for you, constantly monitoring and removing the personal information you don't want on the internet. So it really does work. Again, it's the proof is in the pudding for me. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for DeleteMe now at a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your DeleteMe plan by texting Hard Factor to 64000, 64,000, 64000. Text Hard Factor to 64000. That's Hard Factor, all one word, to 64000. Messenger data rates apply. See terms for details. All right. Okay. Let's try to top that last one. This is Ryan Smith, 42-year-old of Omaha, Nebraska. And
Does he have Down syndrome or is it just borderline? Because it's close.
He's got a touch of it, I think.
It's a touch,
I
right?
swear we've reported on this dude before. Like this picture, I swear I've seen this picture before.
It could go either way with Ryan.
Could go either way. There's something going on with Ryan. He's a sicko, that's for sure. You see,
Well,
Ryan works. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. His defense, he could have a different defense depending on.
Well, he's got a driver's license, as you'll hear later.
What does he eat the driver's license?
Yeah, I don't know. He might make a lot of wrong turns, Mark. You see, Ryan works as a dead person transporter. When someone dies, they call Ryan's company to come get the dead body, take it to the morgue. Already pretty strange. It's a necessary job. You got to have it. Not judging yet, although it takes a special kind of person to pick up dead bodies all day long.
Is that considered a coroner? Is that what a coroner is?
A coroner works, I think, on like crime scenes, but they also have independent companies to come get dead bodies when the coroner can't.
Okay. This is the guy who brings the bodies to the morgue and the coroners.
Yeah, I guess.
Transport guy.
Yeah.
So
he's just a transport. Like they have private ambulances, you know. They have private dead body.
Right. Maybe it's the funeral home if it's like
Could
natural
be.
causes.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So according to the article by Ricardo Hernandez of Fox Nebraska KFXL, and according to an arrest affidavit in October of 2023, an investigator with the Sarpy County Sheriff's Office responded to an apartment complex in Omaha for a report of a deceased person inside. Okay. And there was no foul play, someone who had just died of natural causes. So the investigator said they called Mid-America First Call, which is the company that Ryan worked for, the transport company, to come get the body. And he added that in that room where Ryan and another worker walked into to retrieve the dead body, there was a life-size sex doll near the bed in the room. Okay. And he noted that at the time, Ryan and the other guy were making a few wisecracks talking about the sex doll, you know.
I'm just thinking out loud here.
Catches your eye. It catches your eye.
It's not a coroner, right? Because coroner investigates. It's like, you know, natural causes, nothing weird about the death.
Yeah.
So you presume that the person who died is old,
right?
Maybe, right?
Single.
Is that a thing that old people? Isn't there like a age limit for?
Dude, no, some guys are definitely fucking a sex doll till the grave.
Okay.
Why do you assume he's old? What if he had a heart attack?
He might have
right, or it could be like a Make-A-Wish situation, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want a doll I can fuck before I die.
There's probably a lot of sex dolls laying next to dead guys at the end of their lives.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. I never
Anyway,
really guessed that.
The sex dolls can't eat you like the cats.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, Ryan was really eyeing that sex doll. That sex doll really did something to Ryan. So after his shift,
wait. So someone
You remember the address? Yeah.
Someone called and said, "Hey, send over." And it was the apartment manager. You said that Ryan was making some comments.
The cops
called.
No,
Okay.
the cop said that. Yeah, the cop was there as Ryan picked up the thing. Ryan noticed the sex doll, and Ryan and his buddy who had the body in their hands were like, "Check out that sex doll, dude."
I mean, we would do that too, though.
Of course,
absolutely. You see a giant sex doll, any human being
of course,
would comment on the sex doll.
Absolutely.
They
You
busted
kind of
it.
expect that from like
Yeah.
dead transpo people. You know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah,
not expecting like professionalism from death transpo.
Probably
guys.
make a joke to the sex doll, like "Sorry for your loss" to the sex doll.
And been like, "All right, sorry, officer, we'll leave you alone." You know,
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, something like that.
There's a sex doll laying in the room. Somebody's gonna make.
Don't mean to tell you you're a job officer, but usually you want to look at spouses first in cases of suspicious deaths. Pointing
Where
at the
this
sex
guy
doll.
takes it from completely normal to too far is when he circles back and fucks the dead guy's sex doll.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Well,
Yeah,
clearly,
so
that's where it's going.
Yeah, so after his shift and after dropping off the sex doll's owner's dead body, Ryan went back to the apartment complex because he wanted that sex doll.
You got another body for me?
Yeah. Now, what he said was he went to the apartment complex and he pretended he was with the sheriff's department. He said, "Hey, you know, they sent me over here to pick up that sex doll that I saw."
He mentioned the sex doll.
Yeah, he
It
literally
should have
said
been like other things.
No, he literally said that he was sent by the sheriff's office to retrieve the sex doll.
It's official sheriff's business.
Yeah, he couldn't.
Here to collect some evidence.
Couldn't
May have
think of
been
a
left
better
behind.
excuse. He just had sex doll in the mind. So the affidavit
Did he bring a
says-
body bag?
I don't know. The affidavit says the management of the apartment complex called and reported that Smith had requested to be let inside to receive the sex doll, but a little, no, sir, you can't get in there to retrieve the sex doll wasn't going to stop Ryan. The article continues. When management denied his request, court records say he allegedly went inside the apartment, latched the deadbolt, and secured the chain across the door. Okay, so
Jeez.
now it's just
Yeah.
Ryan in the apartment of this dead guy that he just picked up.
Ravaging.
Yeah.
If I
ravaging
can't take you
sex.
with me, I'm gonna have to do
Yeah.
my business here.
Yep. He's just
So-
going to town on that thing.
So
I didn't want to do it here.
he, only had-
want for this.
he knew he had limited time. So eventually, the cops come. They get into the apartment, and Ryan has his pants untucked, and his pants were in disarray. And the investigator said the sex doll appeared to have been altered near her thigh area and was sticky to the touch. That's
Oh,
literally
yeah.
what they say. Yeah. So to
Yeah,
recap,
like a toilet seat after Ryan gets up from it. Yeah.
yeah, and this isn't an April Fool's joke. There's the article.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
no, it's
yeah,
real.
it's real.
I mean, this is so disturbing because he clearly wants to fuck the dead bodies, but can't, and finally saw a way for it to do what he wanted
No,
to
he
do.
could easily fuck the dead bodies if he wanted to,
Well, then
But
why didn't
why-
he just do that?
because
To Pat's
because he
point,
didn't
why didn't
because
he
you don't
just
know if he
buy a
wanted to.
sex doll. It's something about
Because
that sex doll at that
because
house.
I don't think he makes a ton of
Guys.
money picking up these dead bodies. I think Ryan
No.
sees
It's good
sex
money.
doll.
I bet
he
it's good
doesn't
money, Will.
own his own sex doll. That's a free sex
Yeah, I
doll.
think it's like
He's
a
gonna fuck that.
It's a
I
sex
nice
think it's
one.
like it's like a
Yeah.
trash person
That's a nice
where it's a job that's like, not like it's frowned upon or whatever. Not frowned upon, I'm not using the right word, but it pays well. It's not like you want to do the job. It's a dirty job, but I think that picking up dead bodies probably pays very well.
I bet it pays great. I
Yeah,
bet it pays
probably pays
awesome.
because no one wants to do it, so it probably pays like 6 figures.
It's not like a
No
union
way.
job. or
It's 6
something.
figures for
I
Dude,
think
the
so.
death-
If you work
the
40
death
plus hours a week, I
business-
bet it's 6 figures for collecting.
It's
death
probably not
business
40
is
plus.
really
You're like, he
lucrative.
calls you once in a while. He's like, "Hey, Ryan, go pick up this dead body because I know you'll do it." Like I got
Yeah.
20 for you. waiting back at the waiting.
Hey,
back.
hold on. I got to call a strong weirdo. Let me call one of these strong weirdos.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
if he's making, like if he's banking.
I think
fucked
he can
up.
afford a sex doll.
I don't know. You think Ryan can afford? I don't know.
It's
According to
something about
ZipRecruiter,
it's something more
it's
along
not-
what Pat's saying with the necrophilia.
Top earners
Like,
are 96 grand. 75th percentile is 58 grand. Lower than I thought.
okay, so
It's Omaha.
60 grand. You can afford a sex doll.
Well, he wanted that one. That one
That'd
was
be
that
like your
caught his
life
eye.
savings, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you just this one's free. And
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, this is such deviant behavior to come up with a ruse
It's crazy.
and then be denied the ruse and then go through with it anyway. It means like he's
Yeah,
got a drive in him.
He broke into the house.
He locked
why we're
himself
talking about
inside the dead guy's apartment and fucked
Yeah.
the sex doll. It's an absolutely
telling you.
insane move.
Because he's pent up.
And then he gets caught with his pants down.
Yeah.
It's
He
the
glazed the
best.
sex doll.
It's the best.
He didn't hear the cops coming. He was so into the sex doll.
No, he was
Yeah.
he was in a rush. He was going to get it
This
down.
is
Trying to finish
dude,
his
this guy's-
business before they got in.
Yeah.
But one of the funniest crimes of all time.
Yeah. So the judge, Nathan Cox, said in his trial, in his sentencing, that he was very concerned. More concerning for him is the impersonating an officer. The judge went on to say that Smith
Right.
acted as an agent of the sheriffs in retrieving the sex doll, and then when he met resistance, he doubled down, quote, saying he could get the sheriff to get a warrant. So he was like, "I'll get a warrant for that sex doll."
He used
I'll
intimidation.
get a warrant for that warrant. I mean, that sex doll.
Yeah.
I would pay good money to see him fuck
fucking
up the trying to get into the house by mentioning sex doll too many
yeah.
times because he was so excited.
Oh, dude, yeah. The CCTV of that exchange would have
Incredible.
been incredible.
Yeah.
So I'll just be on my way to the
And then-
apartment then.
And then he just goes into the apartment, basically admitting he's not a cop. Like they know immediately.
He accuses the landlord. He's like, "So you're gonna fuck the sex doll then, huh?" When he
Well,
doesn't
he
let him out.
probably started
He called
running.
dibs on it. What the
He
fuck?
probably started running as soon as he realized the landlord was onto him. The landlord probably was like, "Okay," and then he sprinted there.
Chubbing up over there.
Couldn't you
So-
be like, "There's evidence I need to collect," like just anything besides mentioning the sex doll?
Well, Mark,
Dude,
you obviously
it's
wasn't
hard to
thinking.
stay focused
Yeah.
when you're that
Dude.
horny.
Yeah, Ryan Smith he was a one-track mind.
Now, his public defender Joseph Fabian said called it an extremely strange situation. He also told the court media coverage that the media coverage of the case was an inaccurate portrayal of his client's character. Ryan's character.
So
Yeah.
he did break in apartment from a dead person.
Does he not normally do that?
No.
How do I
Doesn't
spin this?
normally
How do I
break into
spin
apartments
this?
to fuck that guy's sex dolls.
How do I spin it?
What if they got witnesses that were like, "This is exactly what he does"?
Yeah.
He sniffs around this complex 5 times a week.
Yeah. A couple comments. Oh, by the way, he got 90 days in jail, charged with theft by shoplifting, first-degree criminal trespassing, impersonating a police officer. And here's a couple comments. Leave it to Omaha with their mental illness. Whatever that means.
What?
Okay. Jessica McCormick says, and people are worried about immigrants. Good point.
Better.
And then Dan Stadler says, better the doll, not the body. Okay. So,
yeah.
Dan. Yeah, it's true. So, I
We
don't
can
know.
all agree on that one.
It's a wild one.
No, I'm glad. So what was the latest? We covered that at the time. What was the latest update from that one?
He just got sentenced.
That was the sentencing was the update? Nice.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do when he gets out, though?
Fuck another sex doll.
I mean, I bet they'll let him right back
First
into
one he
moving
can buy.
bodies because no one wants to do a job.
Yes, you're right, Pat. He's going to go back into the same exact cycle. You know, move a couple bodies,
Well,
find their possessions.
you'd think this
you
would
know.
disqualify you, but you'd be wrong. Come on back.
You would be wrong. Yeah.
All right, guys. Okay. Retired 2-star general who led the Air Force's legislative office has been revealed as a dirty little sexed boy. That's right. I'm talking about Major General Christopher Finnerty. Look at Finnerty, man. He's a pretty handsome cat, okay, for an Air Force
That guy.
general. Look at this guy. He's good looking. I mean, he's svelte, he's handsome, he's tall, and look at his stack. Look at that stack right
That's
there.
an impressive chest
on
stack.
his on his left breast. Talk about it. Yeah. So Finnerty apparently, according to a report from the Air Force Inspector General, violated military law by engaging in, quote, sexually inappropriate or unprofessional relationships with multiple women. Then the report's dated September 2023. This is just coming out now. But he had 3 relationships with ladies who worked on Capitol Hill and another 2 not associated with Congress but were potentially involved in the DOD. One of the ladies was the wife of a fellow officer, and the other was an Air Force enlisted member.
Damn.
Yeah, he's a dirty little dog, okay?
The general.
He's the
Didn't like
general,
Finner.
baby. Yeah,
You walk in and you see that uniform with all those fucking things on it in your kitchen.
Stack, dude. Come on.
That's terrible.
He hung his jacket up.
Yeah, you walk in and see all those fucking awards.
Oh no!
Right.
Straight to a gun
Yeah.
store. Yeah.
The worst part about that one is he had a relationship with that woman before she got married to a fellow officer, and then also after. Yeah, that's tough. And here's the situation.
Oh man, so he's just.
I want to make this clear.
The
though.
general, has his property and he keeps it for life.
This is not a creep. This is not like a creepy situation. This guy is like, yeah, you can't abuse your power. That's true. You need to be conscious of your power. But this guy's real good looking, and I think all the women came forward and like, yeah, I wanted to sex with the general. Now he shouldn't have, obviously, because
Is the general married himself, or is
so
he
the general was not married? Okay,
So he's just getting it in. He's just fucking everybody else's wife. The general.
He's free to do whatever the hell he wants to do. Now let's get to some of the sex. So this ain't a judgment situation. This is just that I love to see someone else's game, guys. Okay, so let's see. Oh, okay. So the woman texts, "I boarded for DC. Should be departing soon." And General says, "Okay, I'm on the case. Where are you?" And then she says, "In my redacted," and he says, "Approved." And then he says, you sexy thing." And then she says, "It was. You know how important work in the redacted sexier thing." Then the general says something totally redacted and totally hot. And then she says, "No." And then the general says something real redacted. And then she says, "Wanted to get away from there," with a rolling on the floor laughing emoji. General says, "Me too." And then she says, "Yeah, darn it, I heard redacted. I hope we can get on a redacted rotation soon. We have so many redacted troops overseas." And he says, "What if I go along?" And she says, "Yes." And then she says, "No one would think it was odd. We could share a room, always looking for ways to save the federal government dollars. And he says, me too. And then she says, we're good citizens, very good citizens. And he says, we sure are. And then he says, share a bed to save some money. And she says, of course, so simple. And then he says, redacted. You see what I'm saying? Okay. Let's move to another one. Okay, this one's pretty good. Okay. The general texts to a different woman. I was distracted by you being distracted. To answer your cut drill question, top 5 things to protect if possible. F-35, modernization. NGAD, JADC-2 Abrams, 3DELLR, pretty sure that's radar, F-1EX. And she takes it right back to the other kind of business saying, what distraction? If I was redacted, would it be distracting? Porno pic. If I was redacted, would it be distracting? Or this? And I'd like this song to be playing in the background, please. Totally redacted. Porno pic, porno pic. And then he says, this whole no more sexting thing didn't last long, huh?
Got her.
And she says, I thought we clarified this last night. Do you want me to stop? And he says, we did. We are in a long pause. And then she says, I'm confused. I thought sexting was back on. Yeah, big time, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Horn dog. Okay. The general says, ready to fight tonight? And she goes, laugh my ass off. And he says, you're welcome, you sexy bitch. And she says, you like talking to me like that because I'm the only one you can do that to, lol. And then he says, you may be the only one to get me humor. And she says, it's kind of sexy. It's kind of sexy. It's arrogant, but I know you're actually a softie. And he says, you are sexy. You might be right. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, that's hot. Okay. One more. Okay. All right. She says, I admit I was feeling a little bitter when I left your office, but I recovered quickly because I know you're a busy guy. Can't wait for you to make it up. And he
Turn
says,
her down.
he says, make it up. How? Tell me. And she says, well, I'd want you to start with a better hug, full body, not that lame shoulder back pat we did today. And he says, redacted. You seem disinterested. Maybe a little redacted. And then she says, not at all. It's not you I'm worried about. It was your administrative assistant. Don't want to get people talking. Gossip about closed door meetings. And he goes, you're probably right. Smiley face. And she goes, yes, start with a hug and then redacted.
Damn.
Redacted.
Infinity.
And then he says, redacted. And then she says, yes.
Yeah. So Infinity was getting it in the office. That's why he.
Yeah, what a dog. What a dog.
Well, he had to
Anyway.
stop it because obviously he was banging the administrative assistant too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was really anyway, good for him. So that's that. You can read the whole report.
Is he losing his is he getting in trouble?
So he resigned and then he was demoted to brigadier general. And then
I
I
understand.
think it would have been fine if you didn't fuck an officer's wife.
Yeah, that's probably.
But
where
he's the general. He had rank on her. Yeah.
He needs sex too.
So I don't understand why they redacted the
power
sexual
thing.
stuff. I get they're redacting like the names of the troops, where the troops are, and anything to do with like our defense and like giving up secrets. But why are they going to redact like sexual talk?
Because it's just too hot for TV, Mark.
It's proof.
Yeah, you don't need it. You don't need it in there. Just let your imagination do the work. Redacted.
Redacted. Live comment. Tamarack Barbell says he forgot to thank her for her cervix.
Yeah. It was because he was banging an enlisted chick. That was the issue. But you can't do that. It's not good.
Subordinate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You crossed a few lines. All right. Let's close it up real quick with a very quick recap of the RFK HHS secretary hearing. Okay. It was in the Senate. The Senate has to vote 51 or whatever, that it can be a tiebreaker. You know how the Senate votes. There's 100 of them. 50 of them have to vote for the guy, since JD Vance has the tiebreaker right now since he's the vice president. So the RFK hearing was slated to be electric. It was actually pretty boring. The vote may get interesting. I'm predicting Another JD Vance tiebreak for the win on this one. We shall see. People are saying maybe that won't even be necessary. We'll see if the big pharma money can get more than 3 Republicans to vote no. Obviously, all the D's will be voting no. They made that clear at the hearing. Sheldon Whitehouse wore 2 jackets for some reason. No idea why. Just wore 2 jackets and read off a script for 5 minutes in a row. So I don't know what the fuck
is under his blazer.
Yep.
Yes, his fleece is under his blazer, over his shirt and tie.
It gets cold, guys.
So Sheldon showed up with 2 jackets on and read from a script, head down in a script for 5 minutes. Didn't even ask a single question. So that was his contribution. And then this exchange between Senator Liz Warren and RFK went viral on every platform on the internet. It was probably the most talked about thing after the hearing.
When you leave this job, you will not accept compensation from a drug company, a medical device company, a hospital system, or a health insurer for at least 4 years, including as a lobbyist or a board member.
Can you just repeat the last part of the question? Can I commit?
You're not going to take money from drug companies in any way, shape, or form.
Who? Me?
Yes, you.
Oh. Yeah, I'm happy to commit to that.
Okay, good. That's what I figured. I said it's an easy question to start with. And I think you're right on this question.
I don't think any of them want to give me money, by the way.
It's pretty funny Elizabeth Warren is asking this question. She must have never received any money for her campaigns or PACs from insurance, pharmaceutical companies, or big health. Oh.
Yeah, so turns out Lizzie Dubs gets a whole lot of that cash from the medical and big pharma world. Let's see here. She got a total of $5.2376 million in 2020 alone from the medical and pharmaceutical.
Well, that was during I'm not excusing it, but the context, that was during a presidential run. That's why it was such a large number.
Sure. I hate to put it on the burn dog too, but top 2 recipients, they get a lot. Bernie got over $1 million from big pharma. Liz Warren got almost $1 million from big pharma total in 2020. So that's according to Open Secrets. Another puzzling thing: how has Liz Warren not lost the accent after being a New Englander since the 90s when she went to Harvard, and she's still being like, RFK, are you going to promise me that you ain't going to join no pharmaceuticals? And so, I just don't understand that part either. Puzzling.
I'll say this, that it was refreshing, having watched all the hearings. RFK is a Democrat, right? He actually answered questions, and he answered hypothetical questions versus every other hearing. Any question which, the American people wanted to hear, like that one that Warren asked, are you going to take money? He actually answered the question. And every other question that was asked, I don't answer hypotheticals.
When he said who, me, that was his answer because he was pointing out that she receives quite a bit of money from pharmaceuticals.
No, I know, but he actually engaged on certain questions. Which
He did fine. He had a fine opening statement. He did fine on the responses. Not only is RFK going to get confirmed as I predicted at the top of the segment, the odds are only about how many votes he gets. Will he get between 50 and 52 being all the favorites? As of now, Mitch McConnell, who's basically become a Democrat all of a sudden, is the only Republican senator out of the 53 who's a no vote. So it could be up to 52 that RFK gets. 51, great bet, since one of the 2 other likely holdouts is probably going to get a lot of public pressure from their constituents on this one. You never know. If I was going to bet it, go to Kalshi and use the hard factor code number 1. And number 2, I'd say 50 or 51. That's my guess.
I like 51.
51. I think so too. 50 was my original. After the hearing, I'm thinking 51. I think actually one is going to flip the other way as opposed to what you saw with the Hegseth. So yeah. All right. That's the show. Thanks for listening. Remember, you can go to patreon.com/hard factor if you need more hard factor. But most importantly, get out there and have yourselves a great fucking day.
The cream of the crop!